what I'm going to be talking all the way through this video, guys, it's about cleaning oil stains off of block paving, and block paving only. This doesn't include any other surface. So the reason I thought I'd make this video is, one, because I've got a video here of me cleaning an oil stain off of a block paved driveway, and this driveway here is probably the worst case scenario. The blocks are very light in colour, very light coloured grey, and it's black oil that's been sat there for quite a long time. So from experience, I know that the best you're going to get out of this is sort of like an 80, maybe 90% removal. I have done it on darker coloured blocks with the same sort of black oil, like a dark reddish colour, and I've had basically 100% removal. It really just depends on the colour of the blocks and how long the stain has been there. But just to touch on a few things that I've seen on forums as part of the community, and this is just to help people out there, right? Sometimes I see people say, flip the blocks. Now, from experience, you can't do that, right? I hear people saying it all the time, why don't you just flip the blocks over, and that will get rid of the site, you know, it gets rid of the patch. And the reason you can't do that is that on one side of the block, it's a very straight edge, and on the other side of the block, it's chamfered, as in it's sort of rounded on the edge, and they do that for the sort of aesthetic look of the driveway. It makes it look a lot nicer. So if you've only got a very, very small patch of oil, maybe like 1-2 blocks at most, then I'd say, yeah, why not just flip them over. But like in this video, in my case here, and the majority of cases where the customer's actually concerned about the oil stain, you're not going to be flipping 20 blocks upside down, because it would be very, very noticeable. The point of what we do is to try and make the driveway look nicer for the customer, and make the property look nicer. So having a patch where it's completely asymmetrical, where you've got loads of chamfered blocks and loads of straight edge blocks, it's just a stupid idea, really. And I see this all the time, people saying, why don't you just flip the blocks? Why don't you just flip the blocks? It's just not a good idea. And the other thing I hear sometimes, people say, why don't you just replace the blocks? Right. Again, if you look in this video, you can see there's a patch there where these are the people who actually laid the driveway, tried to match the blocks that they currently had already laid themselves, and they couldn't do it. They couldn't match them, because these blocks are changing all the time. It depends where you get them from. Different building merchants and all that kind of stuff, you get different brands of blocks, and there are very subtle differences in colour, and a lot of the time, if the driveway's dirty, they try to match it to the colour that the driveway currently is, and then once it's clean, you can clearly see there's a difference between the lighter blocks and all this kind of stuff, right? So not an easy thing either. When people say, why don't you just replace the blocks, it's not as easy as you think, and these professionals can't seem to do it. So that, what choices do you have? Well, you can either try and remove the stain, and I'll go into that in detail in a minute, or you can try and hide it. But let's go with hiding to start first. If you're going to try and hide the stain, what I mean by that is take out the blocks that are covered in the oil and move it to an area elsewhere on the driveway where it wouldn't be as noticeable, maybe under some plant pots, maybe under where they store their wheelie bins, or a bench or something like that, or whatever, you know. So that's an idea, is a good idea. It will sort of hide it rather than remove it. And then your second option is to try and remove the oil stain, right, which is more complicated. But and let me go, there's many ways that you can do this, right? You can either buy oil stain removers, you can try and burn it off with like a plumber's torch or blow torch, whatever you want to call it. I've even seen people say about using brake cleaner on it. Not tried that myself. And there's all these home remedies as well online that you might want to try. But from my experience with actual oil stain removers, it's best to go cheap. And the reason being is that I've seen no real significant difference between the more expensive ones that are like £50 a litre and the ones that are, say, £5 a litre. So just to give you an example, guys, I'm not going to bother scrolling through the whole of Google to show you, but you can see there's a bunch of ones here that are sort of sponsored. You've got this one here, which is £40. You've got this one here is over 50. This one is 35. You know, so they are expensive. This one here, like as an example, it's only a litre as well for £35. This is the one I'm using in this video. 5 litres, £12.99. I can see really no significant difference between the more expensive ones and this. I think the chemical makeup is generally the same. So, in my opinion, go cheap. And really, your success is going to be based on what I've already mentioned: the colour of the blocks, how old the stain is, how big the stain is, and things of this nature, right? And you need to be honest with your customer. You need to be upfront with them. You need to basically just say, look, because of the state of it, you're looking at probably 80-90% removal. So in this video, I'm showing you how to do it as best you can, and you'll see at the end the result of the video. Well, you're not going to get much better than that. Not in this scenario with these type of blocks, but with other ones, you might be able to get a much better result. So that's it, guys. I hope you found that helpful. I hope you didn't think that was a rant. It wasn't supposed to be. It was supposed to be, I guess, educational. But, take everything I say with a pinch of salt. You may want to try some of this stuff out yourself. Don't just follow everything I said blindly. If you're liking the video, make sure to like the video, and I'll catch you on the next one. Bye.